we have some big news. You might remember that the FBI and Department of Justice released 11 hours of what they call raw footage from Jeffrey Epstein's cell to show that no one came and no one went, right? But then we found out there was a minute missing. Well, now we're learning that the FBI and Department of Justice actually has that missing minute. Let's get right into it. Now, here is the moment where Pam Bondi screwed everything up because she said that this was typical of prisons and jails to have this kind of 1 minute layover where they're switching out the tapes. Now, I'm going to show you why that's wrong, but first, here's a bit of that.
Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for an American or foreign intelligence agency. The former labor secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the staff?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, Pam, could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years.
Yeah, we're still talking about it. This is July 8th, by the way, and 21 days later, we're still talking about it, and it's not going away.
You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems.
Now, real quick, if you are glad we're still talking about Epstein, leave a blue heart below. And if you're not subscribed, please do consider subscribing. We are so close to hitting 700,000 subscribers. So do please subscribe if you're not. And if you like this video, do hit like because more people will see it.
Like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said, I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively. The video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night.
Okay, so that was a lie. Liar, you lied. And we have the proof of that. Now, I want to tell you something personal for a second, because I actually found out my address, my phone number, and even my relatives' names were posted online. I never gave permission for it, and I truly never signed up for it. But there it was. Thanks to data brokers, all of my information everywhere. It's not just creepy, it's actually very dangerous. I've personally seen how far bad actors will go. The doxing, swatting, harassment, and when your personal data is out there, it's a loaded weapon in the wrong hands. But that's why I'm so grateful that I found Incogni. I just started and they've already contacted over 70 data brokers on my behalf, and more than 40 have deleted my personal data so far, and that number is still climbing as I'm talking. It takes almost no effort from me, and they handle it all automatically. Incogni goes to battle with data brokers, over 100 of them, and demands they delete your personal info. They even offer custom removals, so they send them a site where your info shows up and they handle the rest. So this isn't really just about privacy, it's truly about safety. So go to incogni.com/Keith Edwards and use code Keith Edwards for 60% off on an annual plan. That's 60% off. Because the truth is, once your data is out there, it's almost impossible to get back unless you've got Incogni in your corner. So take your power back, defend your data. Go to incogni.com/Keith Edwards and use code Keith Edwards for 60% off an annual plan today. But let's just get a little bit into what was in this video, because Wired did an amazing report on this, saying that metadata embedded in the video and analyzed by Wired and independent video forensic expert shows that rather than being a direct export from the prison surveillance system, the footage was modified, likely using professional editing like Adobe Premiere, which is what we use here. And the file appears to have been assembled from at least 2 source clips. So they took 2 clips, one from over here, one from over here, and stitched them together. That's most likely how we got that missing minute, which we now know exists. It exists. And so they presented this as raw footage, and it's not raw footage. This is manipulated footage. Now, it goes on to show what the metadata says here. You know, there's 2 different clips here, and as you can see here, the file size is quite large. Like, this is all the information they could see. Now, it goes on to say, working with 2 independent video forensic experts, Wired examined the 21 gigabyte files released by the Department of Justice. Reports analyzed both exchangeable image file formats and extensible metadata platform data to identify signs of post-processing. Sounds legit to me. Now, the raw file shows clear signs of having been processed using an Adobe product based on metadata that specifically references file extensions used by that video editing software. According to experts, Adobe software, including Premiere and Photoshop, leaves traces in exported files, often embedding metadata that logs which assets were used and what actions were taken during the editing process. And then it says that there's a window user called MJ-1 who did the editing. Now, what the Department of Justice and FBI could have done is they literally just could have taken the file they got from the prison and uploaded it. But they decided to not do that for some reason. They decided to take it, edit it, and then stitch it together in 2 parts. And I don't think the people who work in the FBI were smart enough to know that that is traceable, which is crazy to me because you're the FBI. Now, the embedded data suggests, as I said, that the video is not continuous, it's not unaltered, and it's a composite assembled from at least 2 separate MP4 files, which are video files. The metadata includes references to Premiere project files and 2 specific source clips from 2 different dates. All right, so that's all of that background, right? And so now we're learning that there was no missing minute, according to a government source. This is insane. A government source familiar with the investigation says the FBI, the Bureau of Prisons, and the Department of Justice Inspector General are all in possession of a copy of the video that does not cut from just before 11:59 to midnight of the night Epstein died by suicide, supposedly in a cell. What is unclear is why the section was missing when the FBI released it and said it was raw footage from inside the special housing unit the night Epstein died, August 9th to 10th, 2019. The recording came from what officials said was the only relevant video camera that was recording its footage in the unit. The video has been cited by multiple government officials as a key piece of evidence in the determination that Epstein died by suicide. Now, as I said, and as you heard in that video, Bondi said that the department would share other video that show the same thing happened every night when the video system reset. They haven't released that. How interesting. Now, I just got to say that forensic pathologist who has reviewed over 1,000 jail hangings over 40 years stated that Epstein was the only one that had 3 fractures in the neck. Even having 2 would be unusual. So we have a missing minute of footage that we now know was altered. We also now know that the prison actually, or that the FBI and the DOJ has that minute. And we also know that it's highly unusual to have 1 fracture, let alone 3 in the neck when it comes to a hanging in prison. So this leaves out a lot more questions than answers. And we also know, as you saw in our previous video, that Donald Trump fantasized about killing Marla Maples by throwing her down the stairs. Ivana Trump died by falling down the stairs. So there's a lot of questions going around, and we don't got a lot of answers. So let's keep following this If you like this video, please hit like in the video. If you're not subscribed, please consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time. Bye.